Hello everyone, my name is Steve. Thank you for coming to Cofee. I also want to thank Mobify for graciously hosting us. I've noticed a lot of people are wondering if some of us work at Mobify, but actually none of the organizers work here. They let us use the place all the time, so thank you Mobify. So this evening we have two speakers. The first speaker is going to be Leonardo. He'll be speaking about using Gulp with WordPress. And our second speaker is going to be Sergey. He'll be speaking about i3. It's a tiling window manager for Linux. So let's please welcome Leonardo to the stage.
Hello everyone. My name is Leonardo. Hello everyone, my name is Leonardo, and today I will talk about WordPress and Gulp, how to combine those two tools together. So first of all, I'm from Brazil, so sorry for my not so good English, and I'm currently working as a developer at Diamond. I have a blog in the account, if you can follow me. So first of all, who here had worked before with WordPress? Well, lots of people. So WordPress is very popular, and all people know this. It's about 25% of all web. And WordPress is is based on themes and plugins. So if you don't know this, themes are kind of the visual layer of WordPress, and plugins change the behavior of your CMS. So you use plugins for everything, you know, from a contact form to a web store. And it looks like this architecture makes WordPress easy for beginners. So it's very simple to start using WordPress. And there are a huge community that helps you when you have a problem or you want to learn something. So it looks like WordPress is pretty good, you know, because yeah, lots of plugins, lots of templates, so it's easy, right? But what about when you have you know, a complex project? You know, what about when you need to do the template from scratch from someone else's PSDs? So this is very common, you know. The design gives you a Photoshop file, and then you need to figure out how to break this PSD in a website, and you need to manage your JavaScript files, CSS files, and you have also the content for this WordPress, you know, because the users add images and texts. So how to manage this? And as developers, we want to save time, and we need to have something to make our life easier. So Gulp is a tool that we use to save our time on repeated tasks. So, you know, usually we need tools to compile SAS, compile JavaScript, you know, because we have script 6, and all our workflow can be broken in small tasks. So even the deployment. So gives you a way to do this. I prepared a few slides to show you, and I like them. So this is a very simple example. I have a task called CSS, and it will look for SCSS files, as you can see here, and then run SAS and the compile, you know, the result of the CSS in the CSS folder. My next example is about browser sync. Who is browser sync here? Yeah. So browser sync is really cool, you know, and why? When we are creating our interface, we need to test, you know, the website, different browsers, different resolutions. So here we have mobile, we have iPads, desktop, large desktops, and we have Internet Explorer, yeah. And so browser sync, you know, gives you a way to get your page, and every time that you change something, it will refresh the browser in all windows. So if you have 5 windows, you know, you don't need to go each browser, you know, and press refresh. So in my case here, browser sync will proxy my local server, and I will show this working live. And Gulp has as well a task called watch. So every time that I change a SCSS file in my project, you know, Gulp will trigger the CSS task, this one, and it will run browser sync.reload. And by default, Gulp has a task called default. So in this example, it will run serve, you know, the browser sync, and watch. So now I would like to show a live example showing this. This is what I showed in my slides. Oh, I was supposed to record this. Okay, so I have here my terminal and Chrome, and I will run Gulp. Okay, so I have here my IP address, so you can test using your mobile phone. And this is the website. It's a very simple, no templates at all. And here I have Sublime Text and my Gulp file. Is the font size okay? Yeah. So, okay, like I showed before, I have here my browser sync, and I have here my CSS desk, and my watch desk is a little bit different. So every time that I change a PHP file, browser sync is responsible to refresh my screen. So I have here my page.php file. So even if I do break line, there was a refresh here, and in the terminal we see reloading browsers. So it works for CSS. For example, if I want to just change the background color, so you see it's changed here, and yeah, if you have no more browsers, your iPad or iPhone, you will see the same change. In my Gulp file, I also would like to show the rsync task. So what is this about? Imagine that you create locally your WordPress website, your template using plugins and images, and how to deploy this. Sometimes people use each or FTP. Sometimes each doesn't work for this task, because imagine that you have lots of users' images, so you don't want your repository so big, right? Because we usually use each for version code, not user assets. So a Gulp and FTP is kind of slow. So you can just use rsync and sync the WordPress content folder. And in my case, it will use SSH, so it will save in my post.com in this path. Let me see if I forget something. So this example is available in GitHub if you want to check it out. It's basically my Gulp file, this configuration file, and a simple WordPress theme. And as I showed, it compiles CSS and refresh the browser. Yeah. So I would like to say that Gulp is really interesting, because as a developer we want to save time on repeated tasks. So if you are a front-end developer, and you need to check lots of details, so it's very time-saving, using this for visual stuff. And any questions or comments? Yeah.
Is there any browser sync functions that sync the databases?
Yeah, for databases, I think you can try, for example, export your MySQL database manually, and then use some SSH. You can create kind of a share script to import your local database and then export in the server.
Any other questions for Leo?
Like sometimes in my experience when I try to prompt or try to express CSS, it has very aggressive caching. Just wondering, what's the sync or browser sync you can deal with that kind of aggressive caching?
Well, I don't think that we will face this kind of problem. At least in my experience using Gulp, so it was this kind of I never seen this problem.
One last question.
Where'd you get your T-Rex sticker?
Oh, yeah, it's a secret. No, there is a sticker wool.com. MOLE.com.
All right, thank you, Leo. That was awesome. And now we welcome Sergey to the stage.
Hi, everybody. So, who here uses a computer at work? Except you show off in the front, I guess no one needs a computer. You show me a computer. If it works. Now that was exciting. There you go. All right. My name is Sergey. Briefly about myself, I recently graduated from UBC, a computer science program. I'm unemployed. Not because of that. Those two things are not correlated. Been lazy, I guess. I'm here to talk about i3 Window Manager on Linux, what a window manager is, and how I think it could improve your developing workflow. It's a developer-oriented window manager. Without further ado, this was supposed to be an introductory screen. So what's a window manager? This is how the computer looks like when it boots. At this point, no text, just text, no windows, no shadows, no buttons, nothing. At this point, your computer is fully loaded. That's your Mac, your Windows. Windows is not as obvious, your Linux. In any case, this is how it looks when it's fully booted up. You can connect to it, SSH is running, all the services are running. The only thing that's not running is your GUI, the graphical user interface. So the window manager is your graphical user interface, GUI. That's easier. And what it does, it draws windows on your screen. It draws buttons and works with other applications to create shadows, create transparencies, and all the fancy stuff that makes it, beautiful. So, what's a window manager and what's a desktop environment? If you've used any flavor of Linux, Ubuntu, Mint, you name it, Fedora, whatever it is, you've seen some of these words. KDE, GNOME, these are desktop environments. And what's the difference between a DE and a window manager? Is a DE has a ton of software that comes with it. When you install DE, you have a fully functional computer. When you install just a window manager, you just have a window manager. That's all you can do. You can render windows, you can render a terminal, you can use a terminal, you can use a mouse, but that's about it. And why do you want to know about this? Well, for me, when I started, I've been using Linux Mint, and I've been using Ubuntu with Unity. There was nothing wrong with that. I actually like Unity and I like Cinnamon. And my workflow was the same as most of the people. It's, you have floating windows in the screen. You can use Control or Alt Tab to switch between windows. You can use some cool stuff like Expose or similar stuff to show all the application windows on the screen and switch between them. And i3 doesn't do any of that. i3 is a tiling window manager, and when I saw that, it looked different enough for me to try. It just looked it seemed like something that would change the workflow that I have. And as I used it on a daily basis, I realized that I'm actually learning a lot more about Linux than I otherwise would. I learned how services run, I learned how things start up and how they keep going, and that was enough for me, and I think that's a pretty good reason to try something new. So, what's different about it? That's what we always all stare at. macOS, no, but that's how we switch between windows. There's really nothing special about it. You use Control Tab or Command Tab or tilde to switch between windows. You use fancy gestures on the Mac and Windows now, I think, to do expose-like effects. And this is i3. i3 that looks horrible. i3 is a tiling window manager, which means, well, there's supposed to be frames. But the trick is that you can't grab that frame and move it somewhere else because it's locked in place. And all those 6 frames are all locked in place. In fact, they're terminals. Most of them are terminals. And here's another example of that. That's much busier. You see that there's an RC client there. It's a terminal. There's Vim. There's a bunch of other terminals. You can also see it's all text-based because of all its terminals. But it's all locked in place. It's when you open an application in Tiling Window Manager, it takes up all the real estate on the screen. You open up a second application, it takes exactly half the size of the screen, and it's split between the two. That doesn't mean that when you open 10 applications, you end up with 10 vertical lines on the screen and you can't make sense of it. You can move them around, you can reorganize everything, and I will show that in a brief, in a small demo in a moment. Actually, that's right now. So I don't have key logging software to show you the clicks, so I'll describe them briefly. This is my personal computer. I use i3 on it. It's running Debian with i3 Window Manager, and so there's a concept workspaces just like on Mac or Linux. In the bottom left corner, you'll see a little. It's barely visible, but you see a little squares down there. Those indicate workspaces. Right now, I'm on Workspace 1. On Workspace 1, I have Chrome. Right now, this is Workspace 2, and you can tell that by looking at that little icon in the bottom. And you can customize that with the Chrome icon. That's supposed to be a text editor, because on the second screen I use a text editor. On the third screen I have a terminal. On the fourth screen I have, or workspace, I have PDF files. You can't really see that, but trust me, it's a PDF logo. Then Word or Office application. Then the rest of them are unassigned. And so let's say I have to open a terminal. It takes up the entire screen. I open up a second terminal. It's open. It's right next to the next one. And I can do this. I can do this. And I can do this, and so on. As you can see, you can split it very touchpad on this is horrible. There we go. So you can split it in any way you want, and then what's beautiful about it though is if you use Vim, if you use Emacs, or if you use Sublime, it doesn't really matter. All you need is your keyboard. You never touch your mouse. You move around. So what I'm using right now is I'm using home row of Vim because I'm a Vim user. But if you use Atom or Sublime or any of these standard navigation text editors, you press the Windows button, and then you press the left arrow, and you can see it. I'll open something up on them. I'll open, say, less manual, and just don't read the text. It's not important. I can open some manuals here, and you can see them kind of change color because I'm moving around just with my keyboard. And that's one of the best parts about it is that if you run plugins that in your browser, like that will lets you use your browser just with a keyboard, and you use a text editor like Sublime or Atom or any of the text editors, because when you use it every day, you know this keyboard shortcut. So you can tailor this i3 environment to your text editor, and so you never have to leave the shortcuts that you used to. You can always use the same few buttons to move around your entire system. And you can switch between them with just one button. I'm pressing just one button right now, just to switch between these two workspaces. And another cool thing about this, that was, for me personally, was an aha. I have a desktop at home, I have two screens. When I press the button, it starts up. It takes a while to start up, because it's an old computer. But when it starts up completely, I can configure exactly where each window is. And every single time, when I restart the window manager, when I restart the system, my windows will be set up in exactly the same way, exactly the same position, with exactly the same content. So if I have four terminals on one screen, I have a Chrome browser on another screen, and I have window music player on a third screen, they'll open up in exactly the same way, and the music will start playing. And the beauty of it is that this is the configuration file for it. This is how you configure i3. It's just text. Just a couple of commands that you have to remember. You can see that this is how I configured icons. You can see all the icons here. You can see the applications that start up on the operating system. And that's really it. It's just text. You don't have to learn any languages. There's only one file that you have to configure. It's beautifully documented, and it's, if you use Vim, this is, a lot easier. And just to wrap up, there's more than one tile in Window Manager. It's not just i3. There are more than one. i3 is configured in text. The other ones are configured in these languages. If you know them, it's even more interesting. And that would be it.
Thank you, Sergey. That was awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Sergey?
I do. What did you find was the biggest adjustment going from your mouse to your everyday keyboard?
Floating, some with floating windows. Sorry, I didn't mention that. i3 does have floating. So, I can float the window still. I can move it like this.
What apps or what workflow did you find was the hardest to adjust?
Nothing. Everything works. It's a window manager. It's just like, what's it? I can't remember the one in Ubuntu, but it's the same idea. It just draws the window around it, and you can float them, and it's the same logic. Once you get used to tiling, it's actually much better because you know exactly where the window is, and it's much. You don't have to worry about resizing or anything. It just works.
How does it work with multiple screens?
Very well.
Yeah.
It's actually, there's a whole section on documentation that just says i3 with multiple screens, and you can pre-configure. You can set up so that an application, say Rhythm Box or something like that, opens up on the third screen all the time, every time. You can set it up that it will start up and boot. It will open up there. It won't become active. It's just going to, like for example, on my home computer, you can see the 10 workspace. My 10 workspace is Rhythm Box and chat. Well, sometimes chat in the terminal. So on that window, I don't even have to worry about it. It's just there whenever I need to access it. It's already there. It's part of. They thought about it as part of the design, so it's very cool. Very easy to do.
Over there?
Have you tried it on any embedded Linux systems like Raspberry Pi or that sort of thing?
I haven't. I know it's readily available. If you go to the documentation, it is available on BSD and Gentoo. So it's a wide variety of general Unix and Linux distributions. But it's implemented in C entirely. So my guess, if it's not, then it could be ported. It's very light though, so it's extremely light. That's
what I was looking at. This memory footprint is like 3 megabytes.
Correct. Yeah, with the test bar, it flows into about 8 or 9 megabytes, I think, with everything. It's very experimental, which is why I started using this, because my computer wasn't fast enough.
We'll take one more question.
Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, I guess, in case you want to try this, it's really easy to try. You don't even have to, if you're on Ubuntu or Mint or anything like that, you just install it, and you run. You can Google that, but you run cinnamon settings name, and then you can just switch into i3, and everything else basically magically works. So you don't even have to think about it. You have to, if you want, you can continue. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Sergey. And before I continue, I just wanted to thank all our speakers for speaking today, for all their awesome talks. So can we give them, both of them, a round of applause? And before I move on to our little Cofee spiel, I just want to mention that if you're looking for the Wi-Fi password, it's over there. If you're looking for our social networks, we have it on our poster over there. You can find all information. And if you didn't find it yet, there are some drinks over there, some wine, and we have some stickers, but I think we forgot them today. Although Gavin has a bunch of stickers from Sauce Lab, so you can go grab some if you're desperate for stickers, or just don't have to be desperate. That was uncalled for. That was totally uncalled for. All right, so now I'm gonna tell you guys what Cofee is all about. So Cofee is a community stage. I like to think of it a bit of as a kind of Toastmasters for the local dev community. So we aim to be welcoming, low pressure, and encouraging. So if you want to share your knowledge or experiences, and you don't have to be an expert to give a talk. You can speak about experiences with the tech culture. You can talk about something. You can actually just talk about something you're going to learn. That's usually what I do, the trial by fire. I say, oh, I like this, I'm going to give a talk about it. And I know nothing about it, so I learned the process, and people seem to think I'm an expert, but I'm not. And also, if you actually have something at work that you want to talk about, that you've been working on, some pains, that's another great subject. And, or anything you care about that's related to, like marginally related to the dev world. Okay? So if you're interested in speaking or giving a hands-on workshop, get in touch with me, send us a message on Meetup or any of our social networks. We'll get back in touch with you. We'll be really happy to get you on board. And also, if you think that you have nothing to talk about, you are probably wrong. I'm sorry, you're probably wrong. Like, you have imposter syndrome. And so if you actually want to talk, we'll convince you. Come see us and we'll figure something out. We'll make it work. All right? So now, just go out, mingle, drink the rest of the wine if there's any left. We're closing at 8:30, and that's it. Thank you, everyone.